Lagos State, the smallest state in Nigeria with an intimidating population of over 17 million inhabitants, occupies 3,577 square kilometers with water covering 22% of its landmass. It is also the largest urban settlement in Africa. It's categorized as a mega city. Its main city, Lagos, with a population growth rate of 6% per annum, and since remains the financial capital of Nigeria and indeed the hub for commercial activities in West Africa. This outstanding position of Lagos State comes with a lot of attendant challenges, among which are provision of adequate health care for the teeming populace, schools, security, shelter, transportation, water supply, and particularly road infrastructure. For a state that has earned the mega city status, the importance of the network of roads as one of the ingredients of a mega city state cannot be overemphasized, as a good network of roads will definitely go a long way to ease the transportation and movement of the people, which in turn will help develop the economy of the state. Therefore, for Governor Babatunde Fashola, the construction, rehabilitation and maintenance of roads in Lagos State has become a matter of priority in the state policy direction and in the formulation and implementation of the projects. In the last 5 years, this administration has injected enormous resources in the rehabilitation, construction and maintenance of roads in the state.
Presently, majority of our movement in Lagos, it's mainly on road. The ideal system would have been to have the three modes of transportation to be in full usage, which means to move by air, to move by water, and also by land. And on land, we're talking of roads and also the rail system. But unfortunately, with the way we have things now, the roads is still the main transportation mode that is being used. That confirms that the importance of road in the scheme of things. The roads we have in Lagos, I would say that they're in three major categories. We have the Trunk A roads, which are the federal roads. We have the Trunk B roads, which are the state roads. And then we have the Trunk C roads. And if I can give you a bit of statistics on that, I can confirm that on the average we have about 9,000 roads in Lagos in total. 25 are federal, which means we have 25 Trunk A roads, and about 452 are Trunk B state roads, and the remaining, which will be in excess of 8,000 roads, are the local government, local council development area roads. So that will give you an indication of how the roads are spread. But like I mentioned, the 60 to 70% of the commercial activities in Nigeria, they take place in Lagos, and that will now confirm to you also the importance of roads in the way we do businesses in Nigeria.
Maintenance of roads in Lagos is a priority to the state government, and this task is being carried out by the State Public Works Corporation, PWC. The corporation has the primary responsibility of undertaking the day-to-day maintenance of roads within the state, and it has been playing its pivotal role of ensuring good road for smooth and timely movement of the people by responding promptly to emergency situations as per road repairs. It has in the last years embarked on the rehabilitation of over 530 roads. The state government has massively invested in plants and equipment that the corporation needs to undertake this enormous responsibility. These include the paver, rollers, graders, asphalt cutters, floodlights, tractors, and pickup vans. With all this in place, the corporation has been able to tackle most of the challenges of rehabilitation on Lagos roads. For over a decade, one major attribute that stands the corporation out is the availability of an asphalt plant at its disposal. This has contributed immensely to helping it realize its set objectives. The asphalt plant was installed as a 300-ton per hour capacity in November of 1997. With this facility, the corporation is able to produce and deploy asphalt premix to various locations where they are needed for road maintenance, putting it at a position of advantage even above many construction companies.
Lagos State is on a flat topography because it's relatively flat. That means water will not move easily as against an area where you have proper gradients. So with that kind of characteristic, it is such that, and Lagos State has a very high water table. That means you dig very little before you get to water. So we are constantly flogged. The terrain of Lagos State is flogged with water. So you now need to think of what material is best suited for such areas. But having said that, it is not in every part of Lagos that you have such characteristic. Because if you go to the Island, Lekki axis, you notice that majority of the roads there are made of interlocking paving stones. Now, if you go to the hinterlands where you have a bit of topography, then you have use of asphalt. But the other alternative is the use of rigid pavement, which is concrete. But because the cost of cement is still very high, now you now look to do cost comparison, and compare it to do a square meter of asphalt pavement or rigid concrete pavement. It's still miles apart. So until we get to a situation where the cost of cement is brought down dramatically, and without doing comparison, then we can start using rigid concrete pavement. But for now, asphalt pavement is still the cheapest and the best method of construction in Nigeria.
In recent times, the process of carrying out repairs have been modified to include three major methods, which are asphalt premix, interlocking paving stones, and lean concrete. Asphalt premix is the blackish material generally used as the last layer in road construction. Because it is unfriendly with water, it is not easily used for road repair purposes during the rainy seasons, thereby stalling necessary maintenance work required. The corporation recently adopted the use of interlocking paving stones in carrying out repairs in certain areas. One of such is in the rainy season when the use of asphalt could be quite challenging. They are also suitable for water-prone areas such as Victoria Island and Festac, where the water table is so high that the asphalt surface is eventually undermined. It is also used as a palliative method in places where critical drainage challenges are being experienced. The third method is the lean concrete. This is a purely palliative method. It is made of cement, granite, and other items combined to produce a stabilized material used to fill potholes to provide temporary relief to road users, pending when weather conditions and other factors might make it possible to carry out proper maintenance. Granted that Lagos terrain, being mostly wetland and close to or below sea level, is prone to rapid deterioration, residents and motorists in Lagos State still need to desist from certain practice that causes road damage. Apart from normal wear and tear on any infrastructure, there are some man-made factors that also hasten the damages. They are water retention on roads, cutting of roads, dripping of petroleum products on the road, burning of items on the road, dumping of refuse in drains, and misuse of road infrastructure.
The program we have is such that we use the print electronic media and even the radio, and also we've had various seminars with stakeholders, and to let the people know the things that they should not be doing. We have highlighted them. There are so many of them. One is the issue of pouring of waste to clog the movement of water in our drainage channels. So if you finish eating whatever, gala, Coke, bottles, cans, and this and that, and if you anything you consider as waste, the drainage system is not the best place to dump them. They must be disposed of properly, because if you don't, the movement of water in the drainage channels will be disturbed because of the dirt and the waste that you've dropped there, and where the water will then go is on the road. Majority of our roads are still constructed of asphalt. Asphalt and water don't see eye to eye. The moment you have contact with water, that is the beginning of the disintegration of that road will start. That is one. Secondly is the issue of excessive axle load. When roads are designed, they are designed to carry a particular weight, a particular load. But what we have been witnessing is that these roads are constantly flogged with the loads that the roads are not designed to carry. When you look around, you see these articulated lorries, you see container drivers, you see tankers plying residential roads. And these roads are actually not meant to carry maybe more than a van. And then you are flogging these roads with the weight it's not meant to carry. It's like you are asking a human being to carry 10 bags of cement on this small head. There, the neck will crumble, and that's exactly what is happening. That's number two. Number three is the issue of pouring of petroleum and allied products. And what are we referring to when we say petroleum and allied products? We're talking of kerosene, we're talking of petrol, we're talking of diesel, we're talking of gearbox oil, we're talking of brake oil. What do we have? You see people, when their car breaks down, what do? They park on the road, discharge the engine oil, pour it on the road. But we should remember that the road we are talking about is made up of asphalt pavement. Asphalt is made up of a bitumen, which is the petroleum product, which is used to bind the various aggregates that constitute the formation of the asphalt. And when you then make the kerosene, the diesel, or the petrol, or the gearbox oil to have contact with that surface, it will disintegrate that composition. It will lead to cracks, it will lead to a hole, water will get in, and that will be the end of that road. So we are letting people know that such things should be distanced from. If you want to maintain your car, be it Okada, be it your car, be it your bus, go to a proper garage that is designed to do such, carry out such activities. Equally, we have the issue of burning of tires on roads. If you remember during the protests in the early part of the year, people would just go on the roads, they would set tires ablaze and let people be aware of what they're doing. But that shouldn't happen because you are creating heat. Fire will generate heat. It will heat up the composition of the asphalt as well, and it will be disintegrated. And then there will crack will develop, water will get in, and the road is completely messed up. Then you have the issue of people cooking on roads. You go to some markets, you see our men and women frying dundu, akara, bolia, and all these things. And we didn't know, and what we believed was that people did not even know that such things are actually causing damage. So we have been trying our own bit here to educate the people, to let them know that these are the things that we're doing that will not make our roads last long. I'm not saying that we as a corporation, we're doing our own bit. And if the people can do their own bit, our road will last longer. Another one is that when people have flat tires on their road, or maybe they're driving and they have a flat tire, the best thing to do is just quickly get off the road and try and change the tire if you have a spare tire, or just leave it there until you have the spare tire. But they continue to drive. If you look at tires, the composition of tires is so that you have the rubber component, you have the steel component. When you continue driving, the rubber component wears off. And then it's now the steel component that we have direct impact, direct contact with the asphalt. And now see this thick line being drawn into the, pressed onto the road surface. And then we develop into cracks, water gets in, and that's the end of that.
So far in Lagos State, many roads within the state has been attended to through the ongoing task force on road maintenance exercise prior to the advent of the rains, and this has ensured free movement of traffic in those areas. The roads includes Ijayi Road, Ogbai Sherry Road, Ikpaja Road, Barua, also known as Kembiri Ajangbadi, Mobolaji Johnson Road, Alausa, Ogudu Orioke Road, Ogudu, Alagomeji Road, Abule Okuta Road, Bariga, Alhaji Masha Street in Surulere, Oba Akran Road in Ikeja, Ikosi Street, Ikosi Ketu, Amuo Dolphin Road, Festac, Abeokuta Street, Ebutemeta, College Road, Ifako, Randall Road, Akpakpa, Munirat Alaje Street, Ikorodu, Ogunlana Muliku Street, Egbeda, Calcutta Street, Akpakpa, Ile Shomi Street, Mafoluku, Oshodi, Arole Street, Ogudu, Idimu, Ejigbo, Braimo Ali Street, Bariga, amongst others. Apart from these roads, 486 roads have also been maintained by the corporation from January to May of 2012. In Agege area of the state, the BRF administration through the corporation maintained 19 roads, which includes Lagos Abeokuta Expressway, Ile Zik, Dokbemu Underbridge Axis, Agege Motor Road, Moshalashi Idioro Axis, Agunbiade Street, Okekoto, Inward Pen Cinema Axis, Amao Street, Anuoluwapo Street, Ijayi Road, Iju Road, amongst others. 64 roads were maintained in Alimosho that include 22 Road, Gowon Estate, Abaronja Road, Ikotun, Adeleke Street, Idimu, Adewole Street, Egbeda, Aina Obembe Street, Yanokbaja, Gani Animashaun Street, Akowojo, Igondo, Ikotun Road, Jayola Road, Dokbemu, Ikmaja Command Road, amongst others. For Amu-Odofin area of the state, 11 roads were made motorable. They were Mumuni Adio, Badmos Road, 1st Avenue Festac, Durbar Road, 4th Avenue, Dayo Akinyemi Road, Old Ojo Road, Town Planning Way, amongst others. 5 roads in Akpakpa, which includes the Liverpool Road, Marine Road, Odudua Street, Central Avenue, and Liverpool Bridge and Roundabout. In Badagry, 10 roads were turned around. They include the old Lagos Road and Roundabout by the MRS, the Library Road GRA, Gbadi Asheri Akpag Owode Road, Agric Road Ajara, Hospital Road, Tokpo Road, Palace Lane, amongst others. In Ekpe, 9 roads were also maintained. They are Kalesomi Street, Oke Bosun Road, Lagos Road from T Junction to Roundabout, Hospital Road, Agbowa Ikosi Road, Ekpe Ijebu Road, Igbonla Road, Ketu Ejinri Road, and Buka Araga Road. Altogether, 32 roads in Etiosa were revitalized. They include Amadu Bello Way, VI Falomo Bridge Access, Akin Adeshola Victoria Island, Femi Okunu Street, Ikoyi, Ikoyi Club Road, Abudu Smith Street, Victoria Island, Ademola Street, Ikoyi, Akin Olugbade Street, Victoria Island, Alfred Rewani Road, Ikoyi, Amodu Ojikutu off Sakatinumbu, and many more. A total of 18 roads was also fixed in Ifako-Ijaye. Some of the roads are at Iju Ajuwon Road, Adeniji Street, Abulegba, AIT Road, Alagbado, Awe Street, Ifako College Road, and Jonathan Coker Road, Fagba. Ikeja local government area had a total of 78 roads maintained. They include Adebowale Street, Mende, Adegbola Street, Adekunle Fajuyi Crescent, Adeleye Street, Ademola Ajasa Omole Phase 1, Ashabi Cole Alausa, Billings Way, Bush Street, Mende, Igasan Street, Okbebi, Ladoke Akintola Street, GRA, amongst others. 33 roads in Ikorodu, which include Abule Eko Road, Ajegunle Street, Imota, Bayeku Road, Igbogbo, Oba Sekumade Road, Owode Street, Imota, Oba Molaja Road, Oba Femi Awolowo Way, Igbogbo, and many more. All these efforts by the state government is geared towards making the roads more bearable and motorable for the teeming masses of Lagos State. However, the members of the public has to reciprocate the government gesture by not engaging in any form of road abuse.
People locating car wash facilities without proper drainage channels. What we have done is there was one in Dobifele that we had to send them an abatement notice, because what they would do is that when they're washing the cars, they now move the wash car, put it on the road, and now be wiping the water. Most of the water would drip on the wall, on the road. And the section, we actually showed this to them, and we've written to them. So what has now been happening is that because of what we have done, we're now getting calls of people telling us that, oh, they've actually spotted a car wash facility that's been located, and the water is being drained on the road. You understand? And when we have that, we'll go there and send them abatement notices. And with that, people already, we don't have the exact statistics as you requested, but with the responses of people, with the contact we are not getting from people, for the calls we are getting from people. For instance, another one is the illegal cutting of roads, or indiscriminate cutting of roads. People want to, who are just build their houses, they want to put in pipe-borne water, electric cables and whatever. You can, not that you cannot dig roads, you can, but you must do it the right way. You must follow the process. There's an agency, which is LASIMRA, that's Lagos State Infrastructural Maintenance Regulatory Agency, that you can get in touch with them. They need to guide you and tell you what to do, how you can reinstate the tar cut at you. So, but people just cut road willy-nilly and they just disappear. And so, and with that as well, when someone else sees someone cutting road, you have the right to challenge them. That being, you are cutting this road, can you show me your permit? Can you show me your approval? If that is not produced, then you can report them to the police, or can you call our agency? So people have now been responding. A lot of people are now getting more and more aware. We have had seminars with various groups where, when we mention that petroleum and allied products, their response is, oh my God, so it actually causes damage to the roads. So people are now getting aware. They are calling our attention to places where such acts are being perpetrated. So I think it's already yielding results.
With the advent of the rains, the state government has taken cognizance of the need to make the roads within the Lagos State metropolis motorable and comfortable for the citizens of the state. Other forms of road maintenance strategy that can withstand the rains are being looked into by the state government and will be employed on the road as soon as their effectiveness to withstand the heavy rains is ascertained. To make all these effective, the state government is planning to establish 3 additional asphalt plants in Badagry, Ikorodu-Ekpe axis, and the Lagos mainland. The 3 new plants would increase the production of asphalt for road maintenance and also complement the existing asphalt plants in the state. Obviously, with all that has been put into place, travel time and vehicle maintenance costs have been reduced greatly. The challenges, though enormous, but they have been to a reasonable extent being surmounted, though not there yet, but with determination, focus and hard work, we can have smooth and motorable roads in Lagos.
Transportation is a critical hub of our civilization. If we get our transportation right, many things in our life will improve. Cost of food, our life expectancy, our health, and so many other things.
For a state like Lagos State, with an estimated population of over 18 million inhabitants, also with a vehicular density at 224 vehicles per kilometer, and considering the fact that most of the movement of these alarming population is done on the road, one can only imagine the traffic gridlock being experienced. Unfortunately, traffic congestion is seen as the norm. Being the 6th largest city in the world and one of the fastest growing globally, Lagos harbors a diverse group of people engaged in various activities. This has made traffic congestion one of the major challenges facing the megacity. Moreover, as Lagos is the commercial heart of the country and often described by residents and visitors alike as one of the busiest cities in the world, one of the city's striking features which clearly defines its character as a bustling metropolis is the ever-present traffic congestion on most roads, which could be a commuter's nightmare due to its traffic problem, and this problem has never failed to gain the attention of successive governments in the state, and this includes the present administration. In different parts of the city, it is common to encounter traffic hold-ups that last for several hours at a stretch. Sometimes, a mere argument between two motorists on a typical busy road may build up to a full-scale gridlock. At other times, the gridlocks are caused by broken down articulated vehicles or by accidents involving more than two vehicles, serious enough to stall movement of other motorists for some time. In the end, the average road user becomes exhausted and frustrated and often wishes that measures have been put in place to ensure the smooth flow of traffic. Going down memory lane, there was a time, precisely in 1973, the then government experimented with odd and even numbers arrangements to ease flow of traffic in the state. However, this policy was eventually abandoned and the chaotic situation returned to the roads. This was the experience of commuters in Lagos for a long time.
To the glory of God, towards safer and happier motoring experience and commuting experience in Lagos, we gather now to dedicate this building, symbol of our Lagos Traffic FM. The work that has taken the better part of 2 years to deliver, selfless work by all the public officers. But I particularly like to thank the leaders of the Ministry of Information, the immediate past Honorable Commissioner for Information, who is not with us this morning, the National Assembly, Mr. Okoyemi Bamidele, who is now representing Nigerians at the National Assembly. But perhaps more importantly, I'd like to thank the current and incumbent Honorable Commissioner for Information, Mr. Lateef Idiroba, and Special Advisor, Mr. Lateef Raji, for continuing where Okoyemi Bamidele stopped. That is the essence of the progress and prosperity in this state. We continue where our predecessors stopped, and I couldn't be happier that we have two of my most illustrious predecessors, the man who started Lagos, Brigadier Admiral Johnson, and the first elected governor of this state, and the man who started the first radio station in this state, to which we are adding just a little. I like to chat with me. To the glory of God, therefore, now court this day to commemorate the official of the
In a bid to find ways to ease the ever-busy traffic in the state, the BRF administration launched the first ever traffic radio station in Nigeria, precisely in May of 2012, the Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1. This came as another of this administration's innovations to manage the traffic in the mega city in order to enable residents plan their day and reduce travel time to and from work or business.
Lagos is the powerhouse of Nigeria's economy. Time is money. If you spend that time in traffic, you are losing money. Now, we need and we are in fact working on improving the transport solutions providing a choice for people between rail, between water, and between land transportation. But sometimes we get on the road when we need not get on the road. Sometimes we can avoid making that journey if we have more information. Sometimes we can postpone that journey if we knew. Sometimes we can divert and change our route instead of going on route 1. And this is what we think that we can achieve with a traffic radio that helps you very early in the morning before you set out to have first-hand information of what is happening in your state, which road is free, which road will connect you to where is there a breakdown that last night is working on, and how bad the traffic has scaled back, so that you can make informed choices about how to get to work, how to get to your office, how to get the children to school, how to get them back home, and so on and so forth.
As a means of tackling the effect of stress and loss of man-hour and the consequent deficit in productivity arising from road logjam, the new Lagos traffic radio is particularly relevant and important in a country with rickety vehicles, incessant breakdowns and accidents, and it is equally relevant to enhancing security in Lagos State. The Lagos Traffic Radio will equally help commuters make informed choices as to the route to follow when they set out to work or business in the morning. The radio will give first-hand information on the traffic situation so that one can manage one's time well and save cost, while at the same time the station is also prepared for the challenges of meeting the expectations of the 21st century listening audience in terms of content and facilities. To achieve this aim, the radio station has been well structured and gives minute-by-minute updates on the traffic situation from all parts of the state. The new facility is planned to cover Lagos State and parts of Ogun State. For sure, information disseminated by means of the radio will be helpful in reducing traffic gridlock in the state, as motorists will be informed of traffic situation and thus plan their journeys scientifically. It will also form an invaluable avenue for education of the people on the best traffic and road use practice, and also form a feedback forum for data and correspondence between the government and the populace, which will then help achieve best result in traffic management. The radio has helped in making road management more effective. It has given the public an interactive link between them and the government and has made traffic lighter in the state. The station will also provide information on air and water transportation and other intermodal means of transportation in the state.
The idea of production of traffic radio is a good thing. It's a welcome idea. Making the traffic to flow very well. We want more of it. The traffic has helped the motorists in Lagos State in ensuring that there's no hold-up. And where there is hold-up, immediately we hear it through the radio when we adjust. So that is why it is helpful. It's very, very effective.
Everybody will always tune into traffic radio so as to know the routes to follow. Let's say, and I mean, how do I even put it? We love it in a nutshell because it directs you to where to go. Let's say you were coming from somewhere and you are onto the radio. The radio will tell you there's traffic somewhere, there's an alternative route, maybe even the law enforcement agent, they are messing up social place, the commercials are blocking the road, so it helps a lot. And instantly they will call the law enforcement agent to please go and take note, to take charge of that traffic there. So it's very interesting, we love it.
So what do you have to say? This new traffic radio has really improved. Last week I was in traffic and I just tuned my radio to that to the station, and it really assisted me. I have to park in the office while I have to take bike or whatever to my house.
It guides people, especially when we are going to work in the morning. It guides and directs people. For instance, if there is traffic anywhere, you will know, and it will prevent you from jumping into the traffic. So it helps.
When they newly put the traffic lights, then we discover that the traffic is too slow. We now radio to Alausa. Then they now come and regulate the traffic light. So the traffic light is now flowing very, very well. Even there's no much traffic at Fagba. So it's okay.
The radio stations are really trying their best possible to make sure things are working out fine.
In achieving this, 120 LASMA officials were picked based on their educational background, and those that have nose for news before undergoing training in a 2-day workshop on news reporting in order to allow for free flow of traffic information in various parts of the state by LASMA officials on duty, who feed these 120 trained LASMA officials on traffic situations in their areas of coverage. The trained officials in turn report it live by calling in on the program. Members of the public are not left out, as they also call in to give and ask questions on traffic situations on particular routes. Considering Lagos State as the powerhouse of the Nigerian economy, the traffic radio is another of this administration's innovation to manage traffic in the mega city. It is hoped that the citizens will make use of this innovation by keying into it, thereby saving travel time and loss of man-hours on the road, which ultimately will improve the health and the well-being of the citizenry. The accolades that trailed the creation of the first traffic radio station in Nigeria hadn't fizzled out when the BRF administration came up with another innovation in the transport system in Lagos State. This is the new Lagos Traffic Law. The new law came to being as a holistic review of the state's traffic law of 2003, which was designed to ensure safety on the roads. It became necessary due to the growth of Lagos into a mega city with large migration into the state, which in turn resulted in traffic congestion. The new law is also the state government's intervention to the alarming statistics of road accidents, especially those caused by reckless driving and activities of commercial motorcycles. Different reactions, both positive and negative, have trailed the new Lagos traffic law. It should therefore be made clear here that the main objective of the law is to improve traffic and not putting people in jail, as offenders will be given fair hearing and will be accorded the right to defend themselves during prosecution. And convicted offenders will have to engage in community services such as directing traffic for a specified period. Hence, the major objective here is to get people to comply rather than getting arrested.
In managing needless deaths on the road, clearly you can only see increased life expectancy in the state. Because all of these tragic deaths add up to the number and the rating of our state nationally and our country about our life expectancy, which is just about 51 years. If you look at it, not many of those people who die out of diseases. There are traffic accidents which are avoidable and which, if we all obey the law, will be better.
Well, the new traffic law is very good. You know, Lagos is actually due for that law. There is a lot of unlawlessness on the road. People drive anyhow. So, but with that new traffic law, I believe they're going to be a lot of changes to Lagos State in particular. Honestly speaking, I don't really know because I'm not really sure if they actually started the enforcement now. The government has not actually told us if they started the enforcement. We are not really sure about that. But the only thing I can say is that based on that law, people have started adjusting on their own. You know, people are being very careful about taking one way because they don't really know what to do because they know that the costs are paying that fine. So people are being very careful about one way nowadays.
The new traffic law is good. You know, everybody has its own side of view. But so my own view, what I'm doing is, I think it's good. Because if you're on the queue now, nobody will like to jump. What's the penalty involved? You know? And I think it's very good. It's because of traffic, and it will make the traffic go, it will flow very well.
I think it will improve traffic situation in the state if well managed by the government and those in charge. What I mean by that is that we've had a series of laws in the state and even in the country, but to implement it has always been the problem. So I think implementation should be a challenge to the government, and they should also come out to implement it without fear or favor.
It's helping the traffic in Lagos now.
By Fashola giving us 59 laws in Lagos State, traffic laws in Lagos State, is too much. Even Nigeria have never gathered such a number. So it's too much for us. We commercial drivers, it's too much.
It is also aimed to promote life expectancy of residents, as it would significantly reduce congestion, to provide for road traffic administration and make provisions for road traffic and vehicle inspection in Lagos State, ensure service delivery, restore sanity on our roads and other connected purposes. From records obtained from the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, Lspwc, 722 accidents were reported, comprising 568 males and 154 females between January and July of this year. So also records from the Toll Gate Trauma Center. 254 accidents which resulted in 35 deaths were recorded during the same period. 50% of the cases were caused by Okada riders, 27% of the victims were passengers, and 23% pedestrians. An alarming statistics that a responsible administration knows should not continue, hence the intervention of the law. It should be noted, though, that a traffic law was first made in 1949, but the law was made then for about 300,000 people, and it needed to be reviewed, and there was no way it could take care of an outstanding population of over 18 million in Lagos today. It should be noted that there are still provisions of the 1949 version that are still in the 2012 law. One major inclusion is the motorcycle and tricycles, which were not used for commercial purposes way back then in 1949. Meanwhile, officials of the Lagos State Transport Management Authority (LASMA) have been empowered to administer breathalyzers on drivers to detect their drunkenness, while owners of commercial vehicles are compelled to obtain operating licenses from the government. The operation of commercial buses is now fully regulated under the new law. The law stipulates that no one can put any vehicle on the road for commercial purpose without proper registration. Before anyone paints any commercial vehicle in yellow, there must be an approval from the State Ministry of Transportation, and with this, the state government will be able to determine the number of vehicles on the road, and the owners of the vehicles will be identified easily. For commercial Okada, they are only restricted from plying 470 roads out of the 9,100 roads in the state. Hence, the need for motorists and other road users to comply with the regulations voluntarily without any cause for enforcement in their own interest. The new amended traffic law, which was passed into law, stipulates the following. 1. Driving in a direction prohibited by the road traffic law, that is, driving against traffic, popularly known as one-way driving, now attracts a 3-year jail term, while a first offender gets a 1-year term and the vehicle forfeited to the state government. Bullion vans are not accepted from the law, as any bullion van driven in a direction prohibited by the road traffic law will be forfeited, while abandoned vehicle on the highway will be fined 50,000 naira or 3 years imprisonment, or both fine and imprisonment. Riding a motorcycle against traffic and riding on the curb, the median or the road setbacks will attract a 20,000 naira fine for first-time offenders, while subsequent offenders will get 30,000 naira fine, or the rider's motorcycle will be impounded. Others include smoking while driving, this will attract 20,000 naira, failure to give way to traffic on the left at a roundabout, 20,000 naira, disobeying traffic control will be 20,000 naira, violation of route by commercial vehicles will attract 20,000 naira, riding a motorcycle without a crash helmet for the rider and the passenger will attract 20,000 naira or 3 years imprisonment, or both. It also prohibits underaged person under 18 years old from riding a motorcycle, and the fine for this is 20,000 naira. Operating a motorcycle in a restricted area or on a prohibited route will attract a fine of 20,000 naira, or his motorcycle will be impounded. Any person driving without a valid driving license will have his or her vehicle impounded. Learner drivers without permit will attract a fine of 20,000 naira, while driving with fake number plates will attract 20,000 naira for first offenders and 6 months imprisonment, or both for subsequent infractions. Now that they have become laws, Lagosians are advised to be mindful of them. No doubt, this is a new Lagos, and it is not going to be business as usual, as our safety is in our hands. Hence, the need to comply with the law, as we, both commuters and drivers alike, stand to gain a lot from both the creation of the traffic radio and the new traffic law. Lagosians, we can live a better life in Lagos State.